1 o'clock on Saturday.
1 o'clock Saturday.
Yep. The team that won it last year was here, Scouters.
I seen it there, I went over and talked to them. Amboy Clippers.
Yep.
I went over there and talked to them. They did lost the first game of the year. Lost the first game of the year.
Watson?
Yes.
Passo?
Yes.
Jaeger? Yes. Ricardo?
Yes.
Dees?
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Yeah, I seen it.
Approval of minutes for September meeting.
That's about it.
I'll second.
Watson?
Yes.
Jaeger? Yes. Ricardo?
Yes.
Dees?
Yes.
Passo?
Yes.
Very first.
Well, Mayor Board, the reason I'm here tonight is on the lots I have on Garden Street, back behind my property. We bought it off Frank Marquis in, I think it was '88, me and my wife did. Frank was on the board at the time, Seltzer was mayor, come to the board meeting. They said it was zoned agricultural. We approached them on having a pony. They said we could have a pony. Future, I don't know if we did immediately, it might have been a year later, whatever, we got a permit to put up the fence. We put up the fence. The field behind it at the time when we bought it off Marquis was in crop. Which I mean, don't mean that it was zoned farm, because that, my taxes was farm. In 2003, they changed my tax assessment to residential. My wife went to the county, to the assessor, and protested. They said the only reason they done it, there was no livestock out there at the time that was there. But their zoning has nothing to do with the city zoning. The city has the true zoning. She called me, I was working down south, when she was hurt, and asked me if she should come to the board and approach it, and I told her no. If it has nothing to do with the city, why approach it? It's supposed to be zoned as farm, we leave it that way. And I'd just like to get it zoned back as farm. I'm not asking to vacate the alley or nothing like that. There's a sewer line back there, there's power lines back there. All I'm asking for is Garden Street. When I bought a Marquis, was 1 through 12. I think all Garden Street, in my opinion, should be zoned as farm, or otherwise it should be set up for residential where they can do something.
Well, my grandmother lived in that house with a remodeling now. And of course, original house burned down. But I lived right across the street my whole life. And my grandma had 2 chicken coops back there and an alley, and the rest was all cornfield. All the way down, as far as I could see. Remember, we followed the combines, because back then combines left that corner. And we picked up corn for her to use all winter long. So as long as I can remember, it was agricultural.
Yes, my taxes show it.
Pardon?
My taxes showed it until 2004, when the county changed it just for taxes.
Well, that's when I got, somebody sent me a message and showed me that, yeah, I see that. But at that time, I was zoning laws. I should have never made no changes. You know, and several people were on the variance committee back then reached out to me too and said, hey, we didn't have no meeting on that, and we didn't, because it was never brought up. So I don't know how it was changed.
So I did, when all this was going on, I did do a little bit of investigative work, and Jamie can attest to that, because I did a lot of FOIA requests. I went back all the way to, I believe it was 1980, to see if there was ever any meeting minutes that dictated there was a zoning change from agriculture to residential, and we found absolutely nothing. Nothing that showed. The only thing that it showed was that his front lots were rezoned as commercial.
That was
That's it.
a couple of years before I took over as zoning by Louis Miller.
Right.
In 85.
In 85, that's when that happened. We have those minutes as well. But, the map that's existing up there now wasn't the one that was up there when I first moved here in 2018. There was a completely different map up there that proved it was zoned as agriculture. Because in late 2018, early 2019, Jody Samples Grove came knocking on my door saying the mayor, who was at that time George Carter, told me to come down here because he heard you had goats. And I said, nope, there's a correction there. I do not have goats. Gary has them on his back lot. And according to him, they're zoned agriculture. She left my house, came up here, spoke with, she spoke with the mayor, George Carter, and then somebody else, and they verified that on that map, it showed that it was agriculture. She came back to me and said, nothing to worry about, it is zoned agriculture, have a good day. And that was it.
Well, I do remember years ago, there was a map sitting where I put that, and it was about twice the size of it, and it was one agriculture.
Exactly. And all of a sudden, that map came up missing, don't know what happened to it, we'll never know what happened
Make
to
a
it.
change.
Yep, and now there's a new map up there that says it's commercial, and that was never zoned commercial back there. I'd like to see those meeting minutes saying that it was supposed to be changed to commercial, and it never was.
Do they have the front lots marked as commercial too?
It's handwritten on both his back lots and his front lots. If you look at the map up front, it's handwritten in there, C1, C1. Now, it was also zoned as, I believe, industrial, not just regular commercial. It was actually zoned as industrial because of the type of equipment he had and the chemicals that he had there. Same way with Cliff Mansfield. You know, he should be zoned as, industrial as well. Well, they both have the same zoning because they both were in the same line of business. But all of a sudden, it's now retail commercial. He never sold anything from those lots. No type of business like that was ever conducted there. So even that zoning is messed up.
One thing I'd like to remember being there, other than Mansfield, my brother-in-law had that place and they sold grave markers. And made grave markers. Around on several years and they got out of it and Springfield. That's the only I know that was ever sold out. The garage before that,
Out of Cliff Mansfield Garage.
yeah.
So he's just asking now to, because we want to just take it up to, we'll pay to have it changed over the correct way up at the assessor's office. They won't change it unless if we have a board, an approval from the board to change it back to us. Residents, sorry, agriculture as it should be.
Yeah, we got to have a various meeting on that.
I don't know, sorry, Tony, go ahead.
Go ahead.
No, I don't know where the property is, Mr. Dom. I assume it's near the properties that we've had questions about before.
It
But
is.
yeah, we would need to have an actual, I don't know if you've done it, I guess is what I'm asking, if you've asked for a variance here locally.
Well, we didn't feel the need to ask for a variance because it's always been agriculture. Somebody changed it without our knowledge, without it being taken through the proper channels.
That's why I
Somebody
think,
changed it from resident, or from agriculture
Sure.
to residential, now to commercial.
that's why I'm thinking we need it, because even though the county doesn't know what it is anymore, I think locally, that's the best way to handle this, so that we have a paper trail to back it up, so that if this ever happens again, we can go, oh, back in 2025, we rezoned it, because it was, I'm not saying anybody's right, wrong, or indifferent, but if it was owned by a meeting without any minutes or something like that, I don't know the answer, Claire, but I prefer to do it that way, and then take it to the county, and you can do whatever you want.
Got a paper trail then.
Then we actually have, so this problem gets resolved, so we're not just doing things, oh yeah, that all sounds good, and then 20 years from now, the next owner goes, well, it's never been changed commercially to residential or agricultural or whatever. We'll have an actual application, we'll have a meeting, and we'll be able to approve it. If
Well, that would
that's what the
actually,
board wants to do.
actually, that would benefit us because then we wouldn't have to pay to have it fixed up there at
There you go.
I don't think we have to pay to have it, because when he did that in 1985 for his commercial property, I don't think they had to pay.
Go ahead and file it.
When I talked to them up there, they said we would have to have a variance meeting
Okay,
to get it, done, even no matter what the variance meeting says, it's going to come to this board ultimately.
okay. Jamie, will you get those papers for me?
Sure.
So that we can get them filled out right away? Thank you.
Okay?
All right,
Thank you very much.
now my part for the chicken ordinance. I did Rice Beach. All right, do I have to stand up? Because my back is killing me right now. So I'm here today to once again bring up the possible ordinance for chickens, backyard hens. No roosters, by the way. I know it was brought up with the last board, and it was, I thought, a pretty close vote, and then they decided against it. But there is a growing interest here in Kincaid for people wanting chickens. I know that there are many that are against it, but I don't believe that they actually see the benefits that would, help out with people having their backyard chickens. Me being animal control, I can help curb people's worries that, their coops will be dirty and smelly and nasty and chickens will be running everywhere. No, we would have to set specific guidelines for everyone who wants a permit. I can do monthly inspections for the first 6 months to make sure everybody's on the up and up, make sure that these coops are well maintained. I mean, if they're spending thousands of dollars on chickens to get fresh eggs, they're gonna wanna keep up their flocks because they don't want disease and, having rats come in or anything like that. So what I'm proposing is, and I gave everybody a possible proposal on what could be included. I gave one to you too, Jared. Yeah, you should have one there. Because there were some topics that weren't brought up at the last discussion about backyard hens, which I think does need to be brought up. But I'm thinking any person wishing to keep backyard hens within the village of Kincaid must first obtain a permit from either the acting animal control officer or zoning officer, whichever the case may be. This way, we can go out there and look at their plans of where their chicken coop is going to be, do the measurements, make sure it stays within so many yards of their neighbor. If their yards are too close to their neighbor, then I feel that they should have to have, a written letter of approval from each neighbor on each side. This way we know that there's not going to be any type of animosity or, bickering going back and forth about people having chickens. The permit would actually be given by the clerk because she would have to take on the fee. Applications would include a site blueprint and a diagram or a diagram showing where the hens and enclosures will be kept and maintained. Once inspected and approved, the applicant would pay an annual permit fee as set by the village board. I think a $25 fee would be suffice because that would be a yearly thing for them to have their chickens. Permits must be reviewed annually or before the expiration date. I believe that the locations should be no closer than 20 feet to any residential structure. So, including their own home, they have to have at least that much backyard to be able to put a coop in their backyard 20 feet from their actual house, 20 feet from their neighbor's house, 20 feet from their other neighbor's house. That's out of respect, and, if there is, chickens do actually have an odor, so they wouldn't be succumbing to a strong odor of any kind. Let's see what else. I don't believe that there should be more than 6 chickens permitted per household. Absolutely no roosters. And coop space, that's important. You can't have 6 chickens in one of those teeny tiny Tractor Supply coops. That's just not gonna work out. It's not fair to the chickens. It's like stuffing 20 dogs in, a medium-sized kennel. It's just not gonna work. So I think their coop should be according to the size of the number of chickens they have. They only have 2 chickens, that would actually be a suffice coop. If they have 6 chickens, then they would need one that's 3 to 4 square feet per bird. Outdoor run space is also important. They would need at least 10 square feet per pen. That also, you know, comes into play when you're saying that it's 20 feet from the actual house. So going according to those guidelines, it would promote overall health, hygiene, and productivity, ensuring that each animal has adequate room to move, roost, and access to food and water. Any questions?
I have one question.
Sure.
Okay, my house, and then there's a lot next door, and then there's a trailer.
Mm-hmm.
That's a 40-foot lot. So it's gotta be 20 foot off theirs and 20 foot from mine, so they're gonna be in the middle of this lot. On
Right,
the side of the house. Is that, we're saying that's okay?
yes.
Okay.
As long as it's maintained within their boundaries.
Okay.
You would have, like the new subdivisions that were built under their own covenants. There may be a problem putting chicken coops out there altogether.
Again, if they're too close to their neighbor, as long as they had permission from each side of their neighbor, then I don't see
What I'm
why.
saying is some of the subdivisions, like the one out on the lake, it was so, when it originally started, you could only have one builder build, and all houses had to be stick built, and this, that, and the other. They loosened up on them because there was so much people buying from out of town wanted other contractors to do the work. And they had to make some changes, but what I'm saying, that each subdivision may have its own covenants that you can't break. You can't put them in.
You mean like an HOA?
Yeah, it's just a set of covenants for that particular subdivision.
Well, then they would have to go to their HOA, because I'm sure that there's somebody that manages that then, correct?
No, usually it was just,
No?
I don't know.
There's supposed to be some, but sometimes that's hard to track down.
You're talking like
You know, years ago, when I give out permits, and I'm sure Mike did the same thing, you give the covenants along with the permits. They knew what they had to build and how they had to be built, and by who, this, that.
Dave Smith has his own, Mr. Mayor. Bob Michaels had his own,
Yeah.
different places where Beverly lives, same thing, they had different sections here in town, have their own evidence, and that's,
There's covenants around with every piece of property. Just, most of them are, if you're in a village or a town or whatever else, they're usually pretty similar. But to everyone's point here, depending on your piece of property, you may have covenants you never heard of, that you're supposed to be abiding by.
Gotcha.
Okay, I have one more question. Getting neighbor's permission. Okay, Christie gives permission that she sells her house, that new person takes over.
They'd be grandfathered in.
Okay, that's, I just want to get it all out there.
Yeah, they would have to be, they would be considered grandfathered in then.
Okay. Just trying to get all the questions out there.
Yeah, that was a good one though.
I like the idea of having a permit because I think it keeps people as honest as we can get them to be. And I think it's a good plan. And I think there are people who want it, but maybe we just need to look into the covenants and maybe we need to.
The only thing I was gonna suggest, since it was up here, is maybe take it to, whether it's the financial committee or somebody, to see what the actual, I mean, Claire's done a lot of the work and you can adopt a lot of these if you wanted. But just to make sure, before you go to a vote, you kinda know what you're looking at. If the board is, or if a committee would recommend it.
We got
And-
rules coming.
And something I would, and I don't know how you would feel about this, but I think it is something, an ordinance that we should review every year.
Yes.
Yes.
And
I
decide if
agree.
we still want it, because, you know, I mean, there could be a big turn and we all get filthy rich in the next 10 years and none of us need eggs or chicken, you know? But this way, everybody can, you know, have a little piece of their own homestead out there or something.
Well, that would be good because then we can see how well it's working.
That's right,
And
and we
then
can
maybe
also
we
see
can
if it generates revenue, or if there's
Exactly.
been any comment about, you know, if people, and there are, you know, I think it's going to be very, very difficult for people to even afford food in about 6 months.
Yes.
And this might be some way of saving a few people who've got more than 3 people in their house.
Yes. Now, I know, one other point was brought up to me by somebody who wants chickens. Her backyard is almost the same size as our backyard. It's huge, it's almost like an acre. And she said if she, you know, if this was passed, she has more room on her property than for 6 chickens. And then she owns the properties around her, you know, they're her rental units. So that would be something maybe that we can look into as well. You know, if they have more property and they can get a bigger coop, then why not let them have 10 chickens? As long as there's no roosters, because I don't think there should be any roosters in town.
All the more reason to take it to a committee for those kinds of questions.
Right, can we have a chicken committee?
I think the ordinance committee, like
I
Peter
guess we
said.
have an ordinance, I don't know who it is.
Yeah.
now.
One more for you. This is probably offhand stupid, but you have, if your land in the back got approved for agriculture, is there a chance that you would do coops for people to rent from or whatever, maintain out there? Because you did the garden, people went out there. So I didn't know if chickens is out of the realm to get it going for people that
Instead of
can't.
Community
Well-
garden, it'd be a community chicken house?
Actually, yes, I was considering that as well. So there's gonna be a lot of people that want those chickens, but they don't have the property space. Well, we do, so I would be more than happy to put on, you know, a chicken co-op.
Where, look back there though.
On her property.
I've already talked to him about this.
Because I know how responsible you are.
I think you'd be opening a can of worms if you did that, because then the next person that's got an acre of ground want to do the same thing. And the next thing you know, you got several places.
Right.
That would be a can of worms.
That's what happened before.
I mean, to be honest with you, if it did, you know, when it does get changed over to agriculture, I probably would get more than just 6 chickens, because I want to raise meat birds as well. You know, the price of everything is going up sky high, and we have to be able to self-sustain somehow.
I know somebody had a chicken down my street. I heard it was a rooster, I heard it a lot. But it was covered, hidden pretty well, so I could never find it. I think a dog got to it because I seen feathers and blood one time on the street, so.
Yeah, well, then one of the cats got hungry. Yeah.
Well, then we're gonna send it to committee? Is that?
Yeah, I think we
needs to do that.
Send it to committee and then we'll
Revisit
visit over and try to find all the ordinances that the governments we can.
And I have an entire folder of information, great information, so if anybody needs anything, feel free to reach out to me, and I can
But
bring
if we
anything
do-
you want.
If we do it, we need to start out slow.
Yes,
Maybe
I agree.
and see what goes from
Okay.
there.
Thank you, by the way.
Under old business, we need approval for the Jacksonville water contract. We've only got it signed on both sides. So it's ready for final approval. No, we don't have it, because they signed it, or we signed it, and it says that then they signed it, and just, it's in their back.
Is that the one?
It's the same one you guys had on the paper.
Is that the one I thought, asked you if you had the time to do it, or both of you had the time to do it? Is that the Jacksonville one we're talking
No,
about?
no, this is the entire Jacksonville, the whole water contract, that's what
Oh,
we're talking about right now.
that was different.
You're talking about something.
Okay. You got some, like, which one was it?
This is just selling.
Yes, this is just.
Yes.
Yes.
I make a motion.
Second.
Ricardo,
Yes.
Yeager,
Yes.
Watson,
Yes.
Dees,
Yes.
Basso.
Yes.
Because the revised telecommunication tax ordinance.
So this one is between myself and the clerk. I don't know if anybody recalls, but in March, a telecommunications tax revision was made. I believe Jamie sent it to Frank through the codifications of the state, and he prepared an ordinance. Unfortunately, that ordinance is no longer effective because the Public Act has been amended, which is not a surprise. It happens quite often and nobody usually knows it. regardless of that, the Department of Revenue put us on notice, meaning the village, that the ordinance is no longer acceptable. We still meet the time frame, so there's not an issue there, but we had to revise it. I contacted Frank, and he sent Jamie the exhibit that he had, and I followed up with the Department of Revenue and found the language that we need. I think really it doesn't change much. The tax rate is staying the same. The time when we have to review this will stay the same. So there's not much of a change. It's just some language that basically we revised from the amended Public Act. And if you want to see it, obviously we have it here. But we took what was approximately a 3-page ordinance with a 4 or 5-page exhibit, Jamie, and knocked it down to about 3 pages at the suggestion of the Department of Revenue. So we need to approve it before November 1st, otherwise there's a chance we stop getting some money. So I would ask that based upon the Department of Revenue suggestion, we amend the simplified telecommunications tax ordinance.
I make a motion.
Yeager,
Yes.
Basso,
Yes.
Ricardo,
Yes.
Watson,
Yes.
Dees.
Yes.
Okay, on the equipment sale, I was just telling Louis, it's been about 2.5 weeks back, or 3. To get it, I didn't think it was gonna be that hard to list on IBID. But believe me, it was. We had to sign an intergovernmental agreement and hold on to facts to be able to do it. But as of 3:30 this afternoon, I can post and we should have a storefront on there right now. So now that we have that, we'll go around and get the pictures and descriptions of the stuff that we've got for sale, get it listed. Hopefully by next meeting, we'll have it sold. We're out here.
I have a question for Jared. Are we allowed to do the boats that everybody was talking about at the sewer plant?
I can't remember
The
what
boats
we were
that were left behind and we wanted to try and sell them?
I think we decided not to. Yeah.
Okay.
So that's where we're at with that, so hopefully by next week we'll be done with that. Now, the Maris property. We had talked about, Mike and I, about purchasing that front lot for the possibility of a water tower. He has come back with a proposal on the rest of that property. The reason we did this, because we did a little research and we ended up finding out we have water lines running through not only that 50 by 50 lot that we were going, Harris was going to buy, which we had to have an easement to get in there and dig it out. We've also got a 100-year-old storm sewer that runs through that property down towards that ditch that comes from this side of town, plus water mains and meters. So they offered it to us, if I'm wrong, tell me I'm wrong, $15,000.
That's what we talked about, yes. This way we came back with a counter offer, but discussions of 15,000. I've got approval from all 6 other kids. That's what we've got here, 7 kids. Yeah, they said that 15 would be fine. Number one, we don't have a need or purpose for that property anymore. The folks bought it back in 72, and in 94 when the water tower went up, a parcel of the land where the existing tower was got moved over to the folks' property, and it's switching areas. That's how the folks end up with 2 parcels. I've got maps or drawings if anybody wants to see the two parcels we have there. But anyway, it was one big piece when the folks bought it back in 72. It's now we've got a parcel, a chunk of land taken out of it for the new water tower. And as Tony said, in the future, it probably makes sense to have, for you guys, at least get that part of the property there so you put another tower there at a future time. But the idea was, well, you've been using that property for many years. Anyway, you've been using the property for a long time, storing a lot of material, stuff like that. In return, the village has cut grass over the years, simple as that. So for right now, none of the kids have a need or purpose for the property. We would like to sell it. We've had 3 phone calls on the property to date. And Tony mentioned about, he showed me the map, 1920 dated map showing the water main that came from the original water treatment plant up at Kincaid Lake, which is still the main now, which comes in from Tatum. Where the tower was, that's where your main left originally, so that parcel of land would have some kind of easement. Unfortunately, right now, there are no legal easements on that property. Checking the Christian County Courthouse, there is nothing there other than we know the land, the piping's been there for many, many years, so it's kind of established. It's just that nobody really knows exactly what it is, how deep it is. We're estimating 4 feet, 5 feet maybe. But if the village can use the land, we're more than happy to make an agreement, sell the property back to the village for you to use at your own discretion. And again, that land, for whatever reason now, this is something Tony brought to my attention, that land is residentially zoned along the 104. And I'm pretty confident when the folks bought that, I thought it was commercial. Anyway, it's residential now, and it's like, I cannot foresee that area ever being residential. But anyway, if the village can use the land, we're more than happy to accommodate, lower our price to allow the village to buy it, go from there.
I think it's a no-brainer. I think we need to purchase it.
Motion.
Make a motion that we purchase the last property that surrounds the water
Before you
tower.
do the motion, Bev, is this something feasible for us?
It comes out of the general fund.
Is it there?
That's for you guys to decide if it's feasible or not.
Let's make
I
sure
think,
we're not.
I don't think this is something that we have a lot of negotiation on.
No, I'm just
Water tower
making
sitting
sure.
there, if we can't take it up and move it.
No, I'm just, no,
Take
it's,
all the pipes with it.
Right, exactly.
with all the things going wrong in the sewers and that, I just wanna make sure that we're not overspending on it, so.
Is that 15,000 for both pieces or just one? Oh, yeah.
So I make.
Really, we'll
I'll
buy the
second
extra for 12, because we're gonna buy the ones.
Motion and a second were made.
Watson,
Yes.
Yeager,
Yes.
Ricardo,
Yeah.
Dees,
Yes.
Passo.
Yes.
Good new business, PCBS renewal.
Medical is going up 18.7%, so from 807.20 to 958.84 a month. Dental is going up $6 a month, and there's no changes in vision. And prescriptions are going up a little bit too. We want to keep it, or do we want to find somebody else? Yes. So I need a sorry.
I think wherever we go, it's gonna all be the same.
Yeah, I know. So I just need a motion to renew.
I'll make a motion
The second.
Yeah, that's.
I mean, that's you guys, not me.
You gotta have it anyway, I mean.
Honestly, I think it's better that we need a.
Health Alliance is going under January 1st, so
Yeah.
I don't know who else you get.
It's not that great.
I think
Okay, you seconded it, right?
She, I can't remember who did it, but I didn't second it, I think.
I
You seconded?
I made a motion to continue with Blue Cross Blue
She
Shield.
made a motion and you
I
made a
did
second.
too.
Come here, in the middle.
Ricardo,
Yes.
Yeager,
Yes.
Watson,
Yes.
Dees,
Yes.
Passo.
Yes.
Visitors got anything?
Yeah. What was it, last year when they voted on snow signs? We need to know where those are going.
What's that now?
The snow removal signs.
On,
Just sitting out there on the files,
We
yeah.
got 12 of them. Richardson.
Richardson.
We're on the Richardson, didn't you have that broke down? I think you.
I mean,
I've never seen a map of where they're all
Where do
going.
you have the most problems?
Richardson.
You guys put them where you need them.
That's right.
Yeah, you guys, you know.
Richards was one of the worst streets in the
Yeah.
school, and it's really jammed up parking. And if they'd just move when we plow and then go around the block and come right back, it'd be great.
Hey, do you guys do the plowing, whatever you guys are having the most
Okay.
issues with? You guys put them signs up. I mean, you guys know on Cleveland now.
More likely we'll probably put them on poles that are already there, so we ain't gotta
Yeah.
push more poles in the ground.
What was the other thing we were talking about? I can't remember. That was 4 hours ago.
Bernie's, water, did you send?
Oh, did you send a letter?
Letters been sent, yep.
Okay, we did,
We're just waiting on
whenever
it.
we get a truck, the bottle that, put it off.
Yeah, I think we should be probably, let me email Jamie tomorrow to make sure that the time frame we gave him has run out. Because I can't remember what amount of time we send, but, yeah, the letter has been sent, and I was hoping that there's been some movement, but apparently not, so. I was gonna ask before we left today.
Tommy, you got anything else, Dad? Yours?
No, I'm good. Nothing.
Or what about tires? We just put tires on the back.
Oh, we did put tires in the back of it, we put two new tubes in there, and it just kept ripping the tube and breaking, and, $400 or $500 in tubes, compared to $800 in tires, so.
You put rear tires on,
Rear tires.
rear front ones on next, right?
We'll
Yeah,
try to get
right
the
here.
front ones maybe in what, in
Right,
November,
couple
December.
months, yeah.
Depends on how the snow weather goes, but we will need them before it snows a lot, probably. Front ones anyway.
Anything else from visitors?
Yep. I gave you some pictures of the ditch right beside 12, that's what, 1202, right? 1201. No, 12, no, that's, Springfield Street, right beside your rental. So there was a ditch there, but the water is just sitting there, standing, and it's coming, the ditch is slowly moved onto his property, and the water is now starting to seep into our goat yard. We need to, yeah, that's where you guys put that culvert. We need to get that ditch cut out. Christian said that he'll come over and put some mosquito dunks in there, because the mosquitoes are horrendous.
Is that the one by Frails that you showed, Gary showed me that one time?
I think so. It's right on Mine Street. Here's Mine Street, and then there's the ditch where they put in that culvert, and it's right there, right behind it.
You looked at that.
There's no longer a ditch. It's all, it's just mush and mud, and it's stagnant water, and it's been there all summer. It's gotta be, the ditch has gotta be dug out, not on his property, preferably. And it's meant that that water can go somewhere else.
Yeah, we're
That's what I asked.
right after the, it was like,
We go one at a time here while we're talking, sorry. No, you're right. I just, we can't, I couldn't hear half of what Claire was saying, but something to the effect of, we'll have somebody come look at it.
Yeah, he just said he'll come look at it.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Okay, anybody else? Okay, any little bills?
I make a motion to pay our bills.
I'll second.
Yeager. Yes. Passo.
Yes.
Ricardo.
Yes.
Watson.
Yes.
Dees.
Yes.
Little treasurer's report.
You have a report, is there any questions on it?
I make a motion.
I'll second it.
Dees.
Yeah.
Ricardo.
Yeah.
Yeager. Yes. Passo.
Yes.
Watson.
Yes.
You have a copy of my report.
I make a motion to approve what clerk it was.
We don't approve.
No, we don't have to do the clerk.
Oh, I know, but I don't know what we're gonna do.
I'll just do bags.
Yeah, just do it.
All right, first and second on that?
We don't need
You
to.
don't need to.
No.
Okay, now animal control. Okay.
I picked up 2 very, very, very sick kitties. One passed away already, FIP, another case of FIP. And then this one that I'm trying to continue to save, I believe also is sick with FIP. It's really bad here in Kincaid, worse than what I actually thought. Out of all the cats that I have picked up, the kittens are the worst, and they're the ones that are dying. And, yeah, I really need to get this cleaned up, this area cleaned up.
Now, the county won't take any more, will it?
County won't take them, period. They know that we have a lot of sick kitties here. So how they found out originally was not from me. I guess somebody brought in a litter of kittens, and half of them died, and then they were tested, and I believe they tested positive for FIV.
Farmers are kind of slowed down too, right?
Well, I found a couple of farmers that will take cats that are healthy once I get them spayed and neutered. I have 2 right now that are at the age where I can get them spayed and neutered, so they're going in probably next week, and then they'll be moved out there to the farm. But, and thank goodness I found him, because he's wanting at least 10. And then I have another farmer that wants 4 females, but can only take females, no males, because of, the difference in temperament, and I guess I see no difference, but, I am trying to place them in safe areas, and they all understand that they have to, get them acclimated to their surroundings before they can just let them loose. And I told them I would help with that too. But, yeah. I'm applying for a couple more grants, one that I'm pretty sure I'm going to get. So hopefully we'll have the funds there to actually get it done.
Not much on my agenda other than the Bernie letter. We did have an ordinance violation. Defendant get picked up for failure to pay and failure to appear. So I will be in touch with Judy about how we get that money back and then how we get this gentleman back into court. But other than that, no other updates on my end. Go ahead, Luke.
The houses that we talked about condemning, you working on, any progress on that?
Still need somebody to condemn them. We've got a court process to do, but unless there's somebody that's willing to do it.
If I get a civil engineer to do it, is
Yep.
that good enough? Okay.
As long as we have the right certifications. The problem is, I don't know that a judge will do it without it.
So I remember you was gonna go a health risk on it or something?
Yeah, and
Fell through?
They didn't do it years ago, because that was the first question he asked me, if I was a civil engineer.
yeah, that's the problem, is you gotta have somebody that's licensed or mandated to say, yes, that is, or you know that isn't. Taylor won't send anybody.
Okay. But
Probably for good reason, but they haven't given me one other than we're not coming up.
I thought before you talked about doing, you and Tony talked about a
We
health.
can do it through the court, we can do it through the court process as well, but we still need somebody with the right letters behind their name, if you know what I mean, to deem it a health risk or to deem it a dangerous, what's the actual term? I can't remember off the top of my head now.
No.
Yeah, I mean, it really,
The church, the one by the church and the
Yeah.
one on the hill.
yeah.
Whoa.
Thank you.
Trustee reports?
I got one. Well, I got a lot, I'm gonna say that. Jared took care of houses and then moved it. The pizza that Kip talked about from the football team in that one meeting, ignore it. I paid for pizzas yesterday for the football team for beating Pawnee. So we had a pizza party yesterday on me, cause I don't wanna mess with that no more. Things that, I can't go to the post office or the store without people asking me questions what they see on Facebook. Like these laptops, the boat, the lake lots and all this stuff. We gotta make decisions on stuff. Like we've been putting off the laptops from June till now. And if you have a special meeting, which in my opinion, I wasn't here, so it's gonna make y'all mad. I don't think you should get paid for that because we dicked around for so many months. It's me. And the burning thing, we've been working on that, Jared's got that down. There's so many things that we talk about, but we forget about. Kip's got the pizza thing, we forgot, we're not doing that. The fish, now the trunk or treat, where we're gonna do pizza there. I mean, we got less than 2 weeks to figure out if we're gonna do pizzas at the trunk or treat, which he's not here, he's on a trip, understandable. Are we gonna drop that one? You know, all these things that you get asked out in town, you're like, I honestly don't know. I mean, the committee, we thought we was gonna have a lake lot committee. I know she works every day, and it's hard to get around it, but we can't say we're gonna do something if we don't try to get it done before the next meeting, so we talk about it. And to just be transparent about everything. You know, I know there was brought up before that closed meetings have to be published every so often, or at that time frame, because we've all been in office 5 months now. When is that supposed to happen? I don't know.
6 months unless it's in some type of litigation.
Okay, so next month we've got to clean all them up, I guess.
Sure.
So is that going to go on the agenda? And, you know, anything that gets talked about, and it's not Jamie's fault by any stretch of the means, but like, it's got to be on the website. She only puts what we give her. We got to put more out there for her, for everybody, instead of Facebook, because not everybody's going to have Facebook. Not everybody has internet, at least they can look up Village of Kincaid and find out all this stuff. Because like I said, I don't know some of the stuff that we say and do. I just want us to be transparency about what we're saying, what we're doing, and try to get everything back in order. I mean, we have bills out there, you know, like the sidewalks. I asked that question before. The guy said, yeah, we're going to do it months from now. Okay. I know we can't do nothing but we got to figure this one out. We wasted a year on it, and now we're 5 months into it and haven't done nothing on that one. Granted, he hasn't given us approval, but maybe we should put that on the website and say we're waiting on this guy. Not that we're just delaying because we're dumb and stupid and forget stuff. We gotta, you know, we're waiting on answers.
Well, the problem is when we put stuff out on the website, by the time it gets past 1 or 2 people, it's so twisted and turned, you don't know which end is up.
But if it's on JD doing it on the website for the city, it should be correct. Facebook's where we get all this craziness.
Well,
And then that's when the people ask me, you know, like the tree. You know, I got asked 9 times since the last meeting, how'd y'all lose this tree list? I don't know.
No, it's not lost.
No, found it now. And Chaser took care of his, and Tommy can attest to that. It wasn't pretty.
Well, one the chaser took down.
Yeah.
This is all.
Yeah,
And
But
the
I
other
mean-
one was so close to borderline, I hate to call it.
understand. I told him to maybe it because it was a lie. I mean, it looked a lie to me, but we don't tear down trees for no reason.
We don't ever do take down live trees.
Okay, and the last thing, we've been messing around with this 250 deposit for the community club. Are we giving their deposit back and charging them $250 for the electric and the gas because we don't have the new ordinance written up for that? Are we giving them all of it back? What are we doing? Let's make a decision tonight, so Beth can pay it back or give it back.
You guys are the ones that gotta make the decision.
I think-
It's not on the agenda. So
Yeah, it's not on
It's
it's not on the agenda for tonight. I thought we went to committee on that.
We did,
Pretty
but it was never,
It was never
nobody
done.
ever came to an agreement or
Okay.
a conclusion, so.
Then that, yes, Louis, I mean, that's an issue. Take it to committee should make a recommendation to the board votes. That's the process, that's parliamentary procedure.
We did that.
We still don't have an answer, but again, if we can't get it done tonight.
So I make a motion to pay them back or whatever we want to do.
Not tonight, you can't, because we're not on the agenda.
Okay.
But if you want it on the agenda, you just let Jamie know, and, because I do that all the time with her, like, the telecommunication tax came out of nowhere. I just called her up and I'm like, hey, this has to be on the next meeting, so we can pass
I
it.
brought it up before, talking in there, and I thought since we went to committee on it and we decided it, but we didn't make a decision. That's what drives me nuts. When we make decisions, but don't follow up on it. I'm just as guilty as anybody, because I forgot about the water Bernie's for a month, and then I realized it. Sure. Now it's, you know, so I'm just as guilty as anybody else.
Completely understand.
Just, we gotta get better at what we do. I'm done.
And on the lake thing, we're pretty good with that. We talk to them a lot and we meet a lot and we are.
But we said we was gonna have an open meeting for everybody.
God, I'm still waiting for that. That's been 2 months now.
Yeah. So that's not happened. And once again, my opinion would be, since we've waited this long, why we didn't pay to have a special meeting on that? I don't,
We're not on that.
okay. I'm just saying, when we have these special meetings for something we forgot months ago, that's just ungodly.
We need to have as many special meetings as we've had. You know, we've cut down on
Because when do they have to move out if we don't make that decision to let go of people? Under whichever the three contracts
The
they have.
contract they got till they live by for this year.
Yeah.
There's gonna be no changes to the contract until they sign next year.
Well, didn't they have three different ones they showed us?
No, one. They have one, you guys have three different, they have one.
No, but I will show you two different ones.
Yeah.
I was gonna say, I,
And then mine made the third.
yeah. So I
And the one in the book makes the fourth.
What a cluster.
But the ones that the people signed this year are all the same
What
contract.
they signed in April and May,
And it
they
is
did
for
by
a year.
till next year.
It's for a year.
So they're good, so
By next year,
Shouldn't
there'll
be.
be one ordinance, and they'll all sign it. But like I say, we need to have a meeting.
So before
Sit down and,
before we start asking them to sign it again, we've got one that everybody agrees with. That's-
Jamie, can you put me on the
Good
list
point.
about this money for the, come in, can't remember his name, thanks. Won't get that off there. Okay, I'm done. Probably made every bad, sorry.
I believe we're trying, as far as the money for the, restoring it back to the, Village Club or whatever it's called. We, as part of the finance committee, we realize it's just like with the contracts for the lake. There's so many inequities. We're going to give this one back, we're not going to give this one back, we're going to give this one half back. And we have to come up with a policy of what we're going to do before, we just can't arbitrarily say, well, I like these guys, let's give them their money back. You know, we've got to come up with.
We're talking about doing the electric bill and gas bill.
And coming up with a total amount that this is what it takes, if you're gonna rent all the kitchen and all that. You're gonna, you know, that's kind of where we were left off at. That renting the kitchen and all the other facilities, they each are priced. The bathrooms have their own price, the ground has their price, and the kitchen has its price.
Totally
And you
understand.
rent what part you want. We just have to get it all put into order, and we will try to do that.
Well, we shouldn't be
for
holding
the
Bev
next
up with a
meeting.
checkbook forever either.
Huh?
We should be holding Bev up with these deposits and stuff.
I think he's.
It's not, I wish everything were easy and could be done quickly in 10 minutes. If that's the case, these meetings would run about 5 minutes.
Right.
There's a lot of mopping up, cleaning up, tidying up, and putting things in order that needs to be done before we can go any farther. But we will have some kind of resolution and proposal for what the contract should be. We'll give it to Jerry to write it up.
Okay, what I'm saying is, they kinda knew they had to pay a $250 deposit, and they're gonna get $250 back for getting it back, so we're still charging $250. We never changed any of that yet, we're saying next year we're gonna change that. That's my question, why can't we finish with the old contract, word perfect, whatever we say to they've done for the last 30 years, give them their deposit back? That's all I'm asking.
Anybody else got anything?
Yes, I do. I would like some clarification on the employee work phones. Are they work phones? Are they personal phones?
That's a good question. So there's no policy on it. You guys will have to draw up the employee handbooks in there, so you'll have to go through it and figure it out.
But I mean, you have a work phone, or,
The SIM card, yeah.
no, I meant the village got you a phone?
Oh, yeah,
They
I
got
had,
you a phone and got Dallas phones,
Yeah.
correct? And you don't use that phone though, you use it, you bought a different phone?
Yeah, I own this phone.
Can I ask what you done with the village phone that they bought for you?
It's in my house still.
He used to probably use the phone before
Oh,
he got the iPad.
I used to use the village phone, but when we were working, the screen cracked. So I just switched it. Also, it was really slow, so.
So, are we paying monthly on them? So-
This is the phone you're paying for. The actual phone, the physical phone is mine. The SIM card is not.
Okay, I could turn it off. I could turn this thing off without her help, so, you know, come on.
Yeah, but if your village phone
It's the.
Yeah, the actual physical phone is at the house.
and
I just
it's
haven't
cracked.
brought it up. The screen cracked while I was working, yes.
Okay, paying on it, should that, does
Yeah,
that
we pay
coverage?
on that
And
line.
it should have coverage to get.
The line is this phone.
The line is
The physical phone is mine, the SIM card is the village's.
Right,
The village physical phone is at the house with a cracked screen, it doesn't have a SIM card.
but
Okay,
that would, probably could have been replaced, is what, right, with the.
The screen, I don't know if you have insurance on them.
Yeah.
I was gonna say, like, I think it would've been out of pocket if whoever wanted to fix it.
Oh,
I can see what Gina's talking about. So Tommy, do you use your city phone? Or you use your own?
No, let's see, though.
Does Dallas use one, or does he use his own?
Dallas uses his own.
Only uses his personal.
So we could probably tell him, turn his in so we save money, which is not a lot, but if he's not gonna use it, we're paying money for it.
It's out there, he brought it the other day.
Yeah, I'd say you could probably ask him.
I mean, 'cause everybody gets on Facebook, we're having meetings and wasting money. Well, we're making money on cell phone, people uses it.
Well, I'm just saying, do you put personal stuff on your work phone though?
It's my physical phone, so. Yeah.
Your
Yeah,
phone,
it's not
but
safe, but
the,
it's
but the municipality's SIM card.
Correct.
Okay, so it's a 50-50 split.
Yeah, so the
You can't read it
information,
without that
the
SIM
information, actually I can. The information is on the phone, it's not on the SIM card, I save it to the phone.
card. Okay.
Which it does have village work on it as well. So the physical phone also has village stuff on it as well.
That's clear as missing your blood.
It was, yeah.
Some of these phones don't even have SIMS card in it, they're all electronic.
Yeah,
I
mine is.
know mine is, there's no card in it, it's just all electronic.
So we're saying that in the long, short days of winter, we need to sit down and crank out a phone policy
Sometime.
in all.
We are going to do away with the police chief phone. Not really the phone, he's gonna keep the phone because it's got pertinent data on it. But we're gonna shut the line down and we're gonna go with a new phone with our company here, rather than have two separate companies involved. Both of them are AT&T, but through a different affiliate. There's no sense us doing that, so we're shutting down. And I just got the pin for that today, to be able to do it. Try to console, I don't have a phone to go on for.
Clarification on that is, our last meeting we had, whenever Mrs. Backers asked, when Tommy and Dallas retire and they wipe their phones, are we going to, try to look into their phones? Which I don't understand why anybody wants to wipe something that is a work-related item, but that's what I wanna know. Are they personal? Are they work phones?
Well, they'll probably take off their personal stuff.
So they have, I mean, it's a smartphone, so it's got your Google account and everything on it.
Yeah.
Nobody's made a work email. I did eventually when I got the iPad. But we didn't have work emails, we had personal emails to start the phone. So when you take the SIM card out, we're gonna, at least since I started, the phones have been reset when they were handed in and given to the next person.
She's lost.
That's only like the newest one. Well, iPhone did away with that a long time ago.
So we have a bill for
This is, yeah.
The digital speed is outrun us. Technology. It's going to. So that's another thing that, we can make up some type of policy. I don't know what it's gonna be because, it's a dedicated.
I just wanted some clarification if they were work phones or personal phones or used them as work and personal.
Combination. What about the village data that's on there?
Anybody else got anything? Glad to have you. The dam. According to this engineering firm, they want $10,000 just to tell us what to repair. Another $25,000 to design it, to repair it. uppers to $100,000, $25,000 to $100,000 plus to repair or replace. We took another ride out there today, and it's some there's cavities on the other side. Sea ticket crawled in the bottom of the spillway. I mean, it's terrible. But on the good side, at home today, I got a phone call from the Department of Natural Resources, the guy who takes care of this old WS division or whatever it is. And I asked him, I said, do we have to spend that $10,000 for him to tell us what's wrong? I'm not blind. I can see what's wrong out there. And he kind of chuckled and he said, no. He said, you make me have a punch list, pictures, and send it in, and he give me his personal email. And he said, I'll send you back the program, and you can do it yourself. It may be stretched out over a year or 2 year period of time, but we could do a lot of work. Now, he said, I'm not telling you to go take out a 20 by 10 chunk of concrete and replace it. No, that has to be structurally done by a civil engineer. He said, but the small stuff like what we got there, and he even gave me some pointers like to fill those voids. He told me to get with the, and I got to look down on what they call it. It's a special mix of sand, dirt, and concrete. And they put it in as a slurry, and it'll run down the bottom of that void, and it'll stay the same texture as the ground. Where if you ever have to dig it out later, you can do it. But he gave me a lot of good pointers, so I think we'll be all right on that. We could also probably use Chad Davis to do some of our work out there on that ground. As long as we don't get into anything major, the structural, like I was talking about taking that weird dam out across the top, we can't do that without their approval, and it has to be done by us, so we need to do it.
I thought the whole thing of it was that they wanted it underneath of it filled with some kind of sealant. That's what the whole gripe of that we were.
Underneath that side, and they want that concrete repaired.
Yeah.
And, once we get it filled in underneath, and like I told him, he said we use pump truck, but that's $5,000 to get one on the lot. But he said you can also rent those 3-yard power wheelbarrows, and they can load it up, and we can take it up to the side of that bank, and dump it in the holes.
Yeah.
But anyway, he's willing to work with us, and, which is great, because it's gonna save us a ton of money out there. We'll put a little work on us, but still, it's better than nothing. But I was telling Louis, we are finally set up to go on iBid to a storefront and sell our circulating. And I'll probably start, if things slow down a little bit, go around, getting everything wrote down, and descriptions, and pictures, and everything, to do that. Follow up on the police. Haven't given up. We're gonna take a little by, we'll look through the files. Our biggest problem is our 2 major candidates are both from out of state. And both of them are mid to upper 50s. And one's been out of actual police force for a year and a half, but he's got 37 years experience too. So he has to make the line, cross the line into Illinois and pass all their requirements and do all the shit they want, excuse me. And it's also very possible that the one that's 60 years old, they won't even give a shot at it. 3 of the other ones that applied, one first day out after he graduated school, he went out, took a squad car out and broke.
Oh my.
He fit in?
3 weeks later, he tased the guy without giving him a fair warning. On camera footage, he just reported in John, so his career in law enforcement is short. It's just, since the Grayson deal, I've had several police chiefs from other villages telling the same thing. It's near impossible for a small town to get it, police officer. Big town, not so much, but they got to take a wait a while. But, the guy with Athens, he said, we've been 9 months. Because boom, it throws out these red flags, and they're right off the bat, the training commission throws them out. So we just keep hunting. I got another one right now, and I'll let Joel to, Seth, and see if we can run back and check on it, and go from there. But there again, we've had several meetings, and we've had 6 or 7 meetings, you know, charter schools meetings, by the way. But anyway, they brought these people in, and some of them give some pretty decent interviews, didn't they? Really impressive, but just, it's an uphill battle. It really is. That's all I got. Take a motion to adjourn.
I'll make a motion.
I'll second.
Watson?
Yes.
Yeager? Ricardo?
Yes.
Dees?
Yes.
Passive?
Yes.